It is a great pleasure to be here tonight to talk about my favorite subject, the city of Mishawaka. Before we do that, I want to introduce a couple of other people who are here as well, including Mayor Neese from Elkhart, so I better be on my game tonight. Former Mayor Ray is here as well. We have many public servants here, board members, commission members, citizens, department managers, staff, family. Welcome tonight to my 117th of the 117th State of the City for the city of Mishawaka. Like most years, there's a lot to report, and this year even more so. And that is what makes this job so rewarding. The fun about serving in Mishawaka government. Nothing ever stays the same. We're always adapting and moving forward. This is a time every year where we pause and we take a look back and catch our breath and look back at the previous year and review the progress and our strengths and even some of our weaknesses that we could face. Like most years, we're just trying to keep up with the positive development and also the routine activities of our daily government. But like everything good that happens in the Princess City, it wouldn't happen without a team effort. And for that, I would like to thank Carl Kopek, Tim Brill, Brent Chupp, Ken Prince, and all of our department managers for their help in putting together this State of the City. It would not happen without them. And it's valuable information, so I hope you'll get a chance to read through it. This is the first year, I understand, we ran out of books, but we'll get you one if you want. I'd also like to thank Luann Hazen and the members of my Mayor's Youth Council. They helped organize this event and gave tours here tonight as part of the festivities. Well, as Mayor, I'm privileged to share with you the best of Mishawaka, what's working, what we need to work on. I'll also share with you some of our future plans and opportunities. I continue to believe that we are at a great time in the history of Mishawaka. We have challenges for sure, but we will continue to meet those challenges head on. To create our own good luck, and to the extent that we possibly can, through strategic planning, long-term vision, and thoughtful, impactful investments. There is more and more going on in this ever-growing city, and I can assure you that we will set no small plans, for they have no ability to stir people's imagination. This is the first of about 20 State of the Cities that I get to give over the course of the next year, and it is by far the longest. Sorry about that. But that's because this is the formal presentation. I want to share with our shareholders, which is you, and I believe that you deserve to have the in-depth report about our beloved Princess City, not just a typical politician speech. Unfortunately, daylight savings time just kicked in yesterday, but that doesn't mean my presentation is an hour shorter. It just means that I get to keep you an hour longer. But as I tend to go long, I think that having it in this movie theater setting is appropriate. Most of us think nothing about taking a couple hours to watch our favorite movie. Well, I think that the story of Mishawaka is as compelling as any movie, and I invite our residents to take a couple of hours to get to know their hometown a little bit better. I can promise you that it will be time well spent. So what is the state of our city? Mishawaka continues to be fundamentally strong, fiscally stable, safe, and we are growing at a somewhat rapid pace. We've always strived to be the most livable, competitive city in northern Indiana and the best hometown in America. We are acutely focused on growing Mishawaka in an orderly fashion while having each and every resident, every neighborhood prosper in our growth. I'm pleased to report that for another year, Mishawaka continues to build a community that future generations could be proud of. One that is not only an attractive place to live, work, and raise a family and retire, but also to visit, to shop, to play, to seek healthcare, and to relocate to. From a city perspective, 2017 was not just another productive year. It was by far our best year since the Great Depression, our Great Recession of 2008, and one of our best years ever. We had development announcements and construction activity from local, regional, national, and international companies looking to build and expand here in Mishawaka. We saw hundreds of jobs created just last year alone, with new and expanding industries and a growing economy. As a result, we are seeing population growth with new housing options. Our neighborhoods continue to remain safe and stable. Our shops and our restaurants and our hotels are booming. Despite the media all declaring brick and mortar retail dead, our northern shopping district continues to expand, to adapt, and to thrive. We are at near full employment, and that right there is creating some significant challenges in and of itself. Being mayor has its ups and downs, like any job, but the aspect that is particularly gratifying, though, is seeing the long-term planning investment translate into real growth, just as you thought it would. Seeing excitement manifest in the form of new bricks and mortar, ideas realized through construction, and dreams come true in the form of groundbreakings. We are fortunate to see long-term vision and good economy culminate into a lot of groundbreakings lately. So therefore, the theme that I have chosen for this year's State of the City is a groundbreaking year. Our success is not possible without a great number of people contributing at every level. In 2017, life moved forward in the city, and I want to give some well-deserved recognition to a few of our homegrown citizens who have made a huge impact on the city. Youth council members, my mayor's youth council members, please stand. These kids give me great confidence in the future of Mishawaka. I believe that one of my prime responsibilities is to educate our youth about our city and our city government, and to show them the value of their hometown. The Mayor's Youth Advisory Council is a way that my wife Jamie and I can give back to our city by empowering our youth to have a voice and to address issues and concerns that affect them directly, not only for today, but for tomorrow. After all, they are our future of the Princess City. Our program has not only succeeded, it is a best practice that is being copied all around the state and the Midwest. And our youth council is leading in that effort, and also to reach out and connect with other youth councils from around the state. Our goal for this program is simple. We want them to help shape our city's future with the hope that they will continue to make Mishawaka their home. As the old poem reminds us, man searches the world for what he thinks he needs, but returns home to find it. We hope to plant the seed of curiosity about the Princess City so that they believe that all things are possible right here at home. In 2017, we gave the students many opportunities to learn about their local government and the City of Mishawaka departments. We visited departments like the police and wastewater, parks, and many others. We went to the food pantry and participated in a mock council meeting advised by Notre Dame law students. The students collected money for food for the largest community service project, the Mayor's Thanksgiving Food Drive. And again, we were able to provide 60 families in Mishawaka in need with full Thanksgiving dinners, as well as to help stock the shelves of the local food pantry in Mishawaka. And recently, we took a delegation to the State House where they joined other youth council members from around the state for Legislative Day. And it was a great opportunity for them to see how state government functions, and they also had a great opportunity to meet some state, local elected officials. We have had nearly 150 kids from Mishawaka, Marion, and Penn go through this program. It's a big undertaking. And so I'd like to thank my wife, Jamie, my assistant, Luann, and Debbie Gray, plus the parent volunteers for their leadership and work in making this program a great success. And thanks to our youth council members. As I said, nothing good happens in Mishawaka without its team effort, and usually led by our remarkable citizens. One such citizen, Dr. Gilbert Eberhardt. At the end of 2017, Doc ended his service with the Mishawaka Redevelopment Commission. He was president and member for over 34 years, serving under 3 mayors. Doc was part of the leadership team that drove investment to the north side of the city at Edenston Lakes, acquired and demolished the former Unaroyal properties, established the Main Street Underpass, Riverwalk, and countless other projects. Doc also led the effort to add fluoride to Mishawaka water supply. which greatly improved public health in the Princess City. Mishawaka is a better place because of Doc Everhart. Since 1984, Reg Waggle served as president of Mishawaka Park Board of Trustees. Reg was appointed under Mayor Bob Beater, and for 34 years has enjoyed working for the leaders of parks and recreation as a city priority to improve the quality of life for Mishawaka families. Reg expressed that parks are driven by the importance of creating convenient places for all people, promoting interactions and engagement. Reg often says, the work of all children is play, and I can tell you that during his tenure, the play of Mishawaka is certainly much better for Reg's contributions. I never let good people completely retire, so I've asked Reg to serve in a new capacity as president of our new Mishawaka Parks Foundation that we're establishing. Reg has thankfully agreed, and he will continue to serve our beloved hometown with his leadership. Last year was a sad year. Dot Whitecamp, whom I affectionately called the Queen of the Princess City, passed away in May. She lived in Mishawaka within a mile of her birthplace for all 103 years of her life. Graduated from Mishawaka High School in 1931 and married her high school sweetheart, Dar. She and Dar lived their lives committed to the prosperity of Mishawaka. Dot and Dar were great philanthropists and have generously made Mishawaka much better. Dot was a lifelong member of the First United Methodist Church downtown and loved all things Mishawaka. She was a walking history of Mishawaka and loved to share it with everybody she met. Dot will be missed, but we can all benefit from the words that she liked to say, every day is a good day. Every year seems that Mishawaka citizens are tearing it up in many ways, whether on the big screen, the athletic fields, or practically any other endeavor. 2017 was no different, with many notable accomplishments to mention. Ann Aurora continues to kick butt on the track for the Fighting Irish, winning 3 more individual Atlantic Coast Conference titles in 2017. Adam Driver, aka Kylo Ren, continues to kick butt in the galaxy, starring in another blockbuster Star Wars franchise movie. The Penn High School girls soccer team continue to kick butt on the soccer field, winning another state championship, their second in 2 years. But one athlete, Mishawaka alumni and University of the Cumberland's wrestler, Jake Sinkovics, is kicking butt literally on the wrestling mat. Jake is the 2018 NAIA national champion in the 133-pound weight class. He also led the team to the runner-up, and he closes out his career as a 4-time All-American. 2017 was a great year for veterans of Mishawaka. In recognition of their great service and sacrifice, the city started our Mishawaka Military Hometown Heroes banner program. This endeavor was created to honor and to recognize military personnel that have called Mishawaka home. We installed approximately 60 banners in 2017 without the use of taxpayer dollars. We are currently accepting applications for the program and have many coming in daily. Again for this year, we'll again display these banners between Memorial Day and Veterans Day. It's a great hometown touch and the right thing to do to show our vets that we appreciate them and we'll never forget their service. I'd like to thank Councilman Ross Deal for formulating the idea after seeing a similar tribute in another community. In 2017 was not only a great year for Mishawaka veterans, but also for thousands of vets around the region. That's because the new state-of-the-art VA clinic was completed. It adds critical services for vets in our medical campus and bolsters Mishawaka's growing reputation as a regional leader in wellness and healthcare benefits or services. The new facility employs over 150 people, and the site is centrally located near highways so that veterans no longer need to travel hours for basic care. We are honored to have this facility in the city, and I have indicated at the ribbon cutting that we will prioritize services such as snow plowing or redundant electric feeds to make sure that our veterans are appropriately served with the priority that they deserve. I'd also like to take time to thank our dedicated men and women of the Citizens Alliance with Police, our CAP program. 2017 marks the 10th year anniversary of the program. The year we had record-breaking 50 volunteers sign up for the program. While they keep an eye on our parks They serve as goodwill ambassadors, ready and willing when needed. Mishawaka is a safer and friendlier place because of their service. And Mishawaka citizens are blessed to have the most dedicated, caring, and professional elected officials serving them. As I have said on many occasions, but I think it bears repeating here, I believe that one of the reasons Mishawaka stands apart from most other communities, or other levels of government for that matter, is the quality of our elected officials. Mishawaka elected officials place the best interest of the city above their own interests or even party politics. Indeed, there hasn't been one party line vote in nearly 8 years. That's truly rare and remarkable. I think this cooperation is a direct reflection of the community we represent and the wisdom of the voters who put us in office. I would like to thank the Common Council and Clerk Block for their continued dedication in serving our city. And tonight I also want to send our continued thoughts, prayers, and well wishes to our friend, Councilman Mike Compton, who is dealing with some health issues. We want him to know we love him and we're thinking about him. I've been fortunate to work with many public servants in my 20 years, but none have had the impact on more lives than Lieutenant Tim Williams. And Tim, if you could join me. In fact, he has directly touched the lives of over 15,000 kids and made Mishawaka much safer as a result for his tremendous dedication to our youth. Lieutenant Williams was chosen as the DARE Officer of the Year for the state of Indiana in 2017. A testament to Lieutenant Williams' work is that our DARE program is thriving in our school system. Our program continues to produce results. A Mishawaka DARE graduate finished runner-up in last year's state essay competition, and our DARE car won the top prize in the National DARE Car Show in Texas, and it was designed by a Mishawaka student. Lieutenant Williams continues to adapt the program to changing times while keeping a consistent message. But Tim's most important impact will be tough to measure. The people who confront a tough decision and chose good over evil because of Tim's instruction. Countless kids will avoid the plagues of bullying, drugs, and crime. Congratulations, Tim, on this well-deserved achievement. Mishawaka is a safer place now and in the future because of you. I'm proud of you. We have many quiet heroes on staff that go above and beyond the call of duty. 2 men, Adam Gilson and Brandon Vorty, of the Central Services Department, don't just show up to plow streets and maintain property, they save lives. On Wednesday, July 19th, 2017, they were scheduled to work at the Cam Island Festival. They rode to work together and stopped at the gas station on their way in. When leaving, they noticed smoke coming from the Parkview Terrace apartments. They immediately pulled over to the side of the road and called 911. While waiting for dispatch to answer, they noticed that there were tenants or bystanders standing outside the dwelling. After informing dispatch about the fire, they selflessly ran into the apartment building. The first section door was locked, so Brandon forced it open and placed a rug in front of the door to keep it from closing behind him. The first 2 sections of the building were quickly filling up with smoke, so they worked together, pounding on doors, yelling fire, to get tenants' attention and to help them to get out to safety. Brandon helped an elderly person with their oxygen tank to get out of the basement in one of the sections. Adam escorted a mother and several children out from the top floor of another section. The mother carried some of the children, and Adam carried another one and held onto another's hands and took them safely outside. Both men ran back in, checking all floors to make sure that each section was empty until everyone was safely outside. When the fire department arrived, Adam and Brandon informed them which rooms were locked and which ones there was no answer and which ones were clear. They also asked the fire department if there was anything that they could do to help, and the fire department responded that they had already done way more than enough. They then proceeded to set barricades and to block traffic at the scene, and then went on into work at Cam Island to finish off the balance of their shift for the night. I couldn't be more proud of these men. The men and women of the Mishawaka Police Department and fire departments do an outstanding job of keeping our citizens safe. I see the calls every day that take my breath away. I see the split-second decisions that our public safety officers have to make, and they almost always make the right ones. But what is typically not known, but what I know, is the thousands of times our officers impact people's lives in a positive way through their acts of kindness that go far above and beyond the call of duty. These brave public servants save lives, literally. On what such occasion occurred last fall? On November 16th, 2017, Mishawaka Patrolman 2nd Class James Bartlett was advised of a vehicle into the pond. When he arrived at the scene, all he could see was the rear end of the vehicle. It was only part of the car, not underwater. When he exited his vehicle, he heard the screams of a woman starting to scream and yelling that someone was submerged in the vehicle. The rear window was still above water. Wasting no time, Officer Bartlett swam to the vehicle in very cold water, climbed to the top of the roof and used his elbow to strike the rear window, shattering it. Once the window was smashed, the vehicle began to sink at a rapid pace. The victim appeared through the back of the window and began to crawl out. Officer Bartlett, who was joined by Mishawaka fireman Mark Taylor, who also swam to the submerged vehicle, assisted in getting the victim completely out from the vehicle, and then swam the victim back to shore. Officer Bartlett and Fireman Taylor acted without hesitation, despite harsh conditions, to save a life of another without regard to their own safety. Because of their quick response to this situation, they no doubt saved a life. For their vigilance and bravery, they were awarded the Police and Firemen's Insurance Association National Life Saving Award. Now, I hope that no one ever has to experience being submerged in a vehicle in cold water, but if it had to happen, I'm glad it happened in Mishawaka while these men were on watch. These men are here tonight. I personally want to thank all of you brave men for your exemplary service while courageously answering the call and for sacrificing your own safety for the safety of our citizens. You men save lives, and there is no greater public service than that, and that a city can provide its citizens. Mishawaka is better because you answered the call. There is no more vital public service than public safety. As mayor, one of the accomplishments I'm most proud of is the fact that overall crime reporting numbers have declined consistently in my tenure. Since taking office, every year but one has seen a decrease in crime since 2010. And I'm pleased to say that in 2017, we once again had an overall decrease in crime. Uniform crime reports statistics from the FBI show a decrease in overall reported crime of 2%. And we had double-digit decreases in most violent crime categories. While no crime is acceptable, Mishawaka saw just 6 bullet-entering flesh gun violence incidents in all of 2017. Mishawaka's low crime rate is even more impressive when you factor in our city's continued growth and the fact that we have a constant influx of thousands of people daily to the second largest retail shopping area in the state of Indiana. I have total confidence in the Mishawaka Police Department. Mishawaka is strong because of the men and women of the Mishawaka Police Department keep her safe. The Mishawaka Fire Department had another record-setting year at the department, responding to 7,432 calls for service last year. This was a nearly 4% increase over 2016, and the greatest number of calls came from EMS and were medically related. While that volume continues to trend up, structure fires are trending slightly down to stable. In fact, we only saw 149 calls that involved a fire last year. To keep up with this dizzying pace, we took delivery of 2 new vehicles, a new engine and a new ambulance last year, and 2 new vehicles the year before, a new engine and a new ambulance. This year we've hired 2 new firefighters. We will refurbish another ambulance, and we are going to now order a new ladder truck to replace Quint 5. And we are also looking at the possibility of building a new fire station to replace the outdated and undersized station number 2. Of course, a lot of our public safety services go beyond our borders, but we still have a big impact on our citizens. We continue to see progress with the state-mandated merger of the 911 Communication Center. Last year was a great year for that as far as moving into a new facility, operating under a completely new system. We did have some leadership challenges there, however, but Mishawaka came to the rescue again. Mishawaka was able to lend our operations chief, Ray Schultz, from the Mishawaka Fire Department, to straighten out some of the leadership issues. He did such a good job that he was offered a job permanently and accepted it. His taking the lessons learned from Mishawaka, values gained over 23 years at the Mishawaka Fire Department, he will apply them to the 911 Communication Center, and it will be in much better shape because of it. And we thank Ray for his service. Mishawaka continues to be financially responsible. Working with the Common Council in 2017, Mishawaka passed another honestly balanced budget for 2018 that provides for the investment in public safety, streets, and parks, while including a modest 1% plus $500 raise for our staff. Budgets are about making choices and setting priorities. Mishawaka's success is based on being fiscally responsible and conservative, and not incurring long-term legacy costs that could jeopardize us in times of uncertainty. Even with losing $4.9 million due to property tax caps in 2017, the general fund balance increased by $1.6 million. Much of this increase is due to conservative budgeting and growing the general fund balance. The equivalent of having cash in our checking account continues to be our top priority for this year and beyond. Our budget is more than about setting priorities. It's also our main compliance document, for which we have several auditors from the State Board of Accounts poring over every detail for months every year. In fact, they just popped in again. They got flooded out over at Elkhart, and they popped into Mishawaka to finish their work in Mishawaka. We think they just really like being here. As a former bank compliance officer, my expectations are this: pristine audits, and we typically get them. We had no material findings again in 2017 audit 2016. And for the 31st consecutive year, the City of Mishawaka has been recognized with a Certificate of Achievement of Excellence for Financial Reporting. This is the highest form of recognition in government accounting, and we are proud to have it. And we know of no other government that has had it for 31 straight years. It wouldn't be possible without the ongoing efforts of our controller, Becky Miller, and her staff. As I reported in the past years, 2007, the assessed value of the city reached a peak of $1.75 billion. Since then, following the Great Recession, the Princess City has weathered an overall lower assessed valuation. Well, last year I'm pleased to report that again in 2017 we saw a modest $18 million increase up to $1.4 billion. Still not quite $1.75 billion. This is concerning since there is both significant construction activity and a robust housing market. The city continues to work with our assessors and within focus to analyze and make recommendations on realistic updates that we believe will help for accurate and fair assessed evaluations. As I've also reported, we are coming into the fiscal cliff. Well, state law stipulates in 2020 that all St. Joe County's property tax caps be reduced to 1%, 2%, and 3%. Good news for property owners, but a burden to schools and municipalities and any taxing unit who must find a replacement for these funds. Our goal, our projections include losses are $4.9 million just this year alone. In 2020, the loss with the full implementation of the tax is estimated to be at $9.5 million. As cost and debt grows, for all taxing entities who are sharing out the same pot, if assessed valuation doesn't keep pace, the losses will be ever increasing without even the pending fiscal cliff. The result, the current financial model funding local government in St. Joe County is in need of serious repair. Long story short, our expenditures are going like this to keep up with the inflation and the cost of the times, and our revenues are going like this. The city of Mishawaka continued to grow in 2017. Although the city continues to reap the benefits of long-term strategic decisions, we are also taking advantage of the city's investment in new roads, new infrastructure, and quality of life amenities to bolster growth. And they are our best economic development tool. Last year, we said 2017 was going to be big, and we weren't disappointed. Since 2013, the city has had 4 straight years of double-digit percentage growth. In 2017, as part of our groundbreaking year, the city issued permits with a total estimated construction value of $136 million, an impressive 39% increase over 2016. And anytime we get over $100 million, it is a big year in the Princess City. Although development interest is still high, it would be very difficult to keep up this pace. The single biggest permit was for the new Mill and Iron Works Plaza project being constructed right now by Flaherty and Collins at the former Uno Properties with a $34 million construction cost. Construction in 2017 came from many different projects and illustrates the vibrant economy. Perhaps the most encouraging news is that Mishawaka housing market continues to grow at a rapid pace. Recent construction combined with approved development adds nearly 1,500 units. Most of this housing is higher end rental or senior apartments, which is in keeping with the current demand. This is leading to population growth as Mishawaka has become a home for more and more people. The reserve located at Fur and Indiana Toll Road is a project by Watermark that exemplifies some of this development. This is a type of product that is around the city of Indianapolis and nowhere else. This is the first time it's in our region, but it's highly unique. And we are seeing a broad diversity of new housing options being developed in the city, which is also encouraging. One of our real bright spots last year was the construction of new single-family homes in 2017. We more than doubled 2016 with 78 new single-family homes. The city also had quite a few standalone smaller buildings started in 2018 and all over the city, whether it's Centier Bank at Heritage Square, United Federal Credit Union on North Main, or just a couple. We also saw old infill lots get filled with things such as Dollar General on a long vacant site. Perhaps the development that excites the community more than anything else is when a new restaurant comes to town. 2017 didn't disappoint in this regard either. We saw Longhorn Steakhouse, Qdoba, Bigby Coffee, Potbelly's, Pie 5 Pizza, Firehouse Subs, just to name a few last year. But the biggest by far was the most exciting announcement when Portillo's decided to come to town. I can tell you that this one is changing the way we are doing traffic enforcement on the north side of Mishawaka, and we are geared to take big traffic up there. And it is now open officially. It's unofficially open, but it is open. 2017 also had some significant development activity in the industrial manufacturing side. Siemens quietly made a $16 million investment in their facility in Beaker Street and will add jobs. Lippert Components purchased the former Willebrator site as well as several other facilities, and we anticipate hundreds of additional jobs will be housed in Mishawaka location over time, just with Lippert alone. Mishawaka has always been known for its clean and well-kept neighborhoods, and their stability remains a priority. Vacant or blighted structures can become a haven for criminal activities and other undesirable issues that can have a negative impact on neighborhoods. Our code enforcement department, 4 officers and led by Joe Van Nel, are the front line of our neighborhood defense. They've investigated last year and opened 5,803 cases, with 10,211 follow-ups, and then these include tall grass to substandard structures, and last year they closed out 93% of those cases, which I think is an incredible number. Implementation of our Worst 100 program is another reason why you won't see any substandard structures in Mishawaka. In 2017, Code was able to bring 71 of of the worst properties in Mishawaka into full compliance. Over the course of 12 years, this Worst 100 program was brought more than 1,100 blighted properties into full code, which results in cleaner, safer, well-maintained overall appearance in Mishawaka. We continue to build and repair infrastructure in 2017 at an aggressive pace. Our engineering department does a masterful job of organizing our design consultants and contractors to make sure that our money is spent as well spent, and our capital improvements are designed and built with the future in mind. Our infrastructure is not just meant to handle the day-to-day service requirements of our growing city. It's also designed to handle whatever Mother Nature throws at us. One true test of our infrastructure came February 2018 when the city experienced record-setting flooding. Over 3 days, the city received 6.4 inches of rain, while at the same time, 1.5 feet of snow melted. The ground was still predominantly frozen, which prevented infiltration of water. The result, the St. Joe River spilled over its banks and crested at a record 11.1 inches, or 11 feet 1 inch, above normal level, and about 1 inch higher than the record previously set in 1908, and about a foot above the 100-year flood level. Neighboring communities, both upstream and down, saw major flooding breach homes and businesses, leading to evacuations, water rescues, and more. Area wastewater treatment plants even failed, leading to millions of gallons of sewage being spewed into area rivers. Streets and whole neighborhoods were closed down, with people unable to access their property, and emergencies were declared all over the region, but not in Mishawaka. Mishawaka streets remained open. No residents were evacuated. No businesses were forced to close, and all city services and utilities operated normally throughout the flood. Some riverfront parks and the Riverwalk flooded and sustained no serious damage. Mishawaka was fortunate for sure, but lucky? No. So why did Mishawaka escape serious damage? Despite similar floods in the past causing serious damage in Mishawaka and serious damage from this flood in neighboring communities. Well, I believe that is because of good long-term planning and investment. The city invested hundreds of millions of dollars in our infrastructure, all designed with flooding as a thought. Our wastewater treatment plant has had 2 major renovations that have exceeded requirements for flood guidance. The result, the plant operated at 100% despite treating 3 times the normal daily volume and several days, and also did not put 1 drop of waste into the St. Joe River. This is a true testament to our talented staff and the visionary long-term strategic planning of people like Gary West. This is the time of the year when the mortal enemy of all mayors, the dreaded pothole, shows up to wreak havoc on the roads, tires, suspensions of our motoring public, not to mention the careers of some mayors. Mishawaka stands apart here too. While we have potholes to be sure, I've heard numerous testimonials, including from some of the repair garages of the area, that Mishawaka roads are in better condition than most. One big reason for this is because of a new program by the state of Indiana. The state conceived of the Community Crossings Grant Program in 2016 to help address and maintain issues with roadways throughout the state, particularly local roads. In 2016-17, the city was granted $767,000, which we matched dollar for dollar, for 3 projects, including portions of Grape Road, Dragon Trail, and McKinley. In 2017, we applied for and received $650,000, which we will match dollar for dollar. We are grateful to the state of Indiana legislature for passing this much-needed program that will essentially allow us to double our Summer Street paving, and in the long term will make a great improvement in our local roads, especially in residential areas. The design for Phase 2 of 12th Street began last year, between Capitol and Burkett essentially, and that design was completed. This year we began construction, and we've already moved some of the utilities, thus the incredible multiplying utility poles that you see up there. The construction will begin this year on 3-lane road, curbs, and a multi-use trail. The federally funded project will be completed by 2020, and We also just received word recently that our phase 3 from Burkett over to Union has received federal funding, and we will begin construction in about 2023. Last year, we put a lot of effort into sewer construction, and that's typical for us. Our biggest long-term control project last year was in the Linden neighborhood area. We redid Miami Club, Victoria Street, and several others. What we did was replace the sewers, underground, and everything new on top. So new water main, new sewers, new curbs, new streets, new sidewalks, and it makes an incredible difference in the neighborhood. This is how I want to do our long-term control plan, because it works and it makes a big impact on our neighborhood. In 2017, the city completed a number of signage projects, including the new monument sign at the Mishawaka High School with an electronic reader board that will allow the city and school system to advertise common community events, or even emergency messages if needed. Likewise, you've probably seen our new wayfinding and branding signs that are being installed throughout the city even now. Thanks to the cooperation of the Visit South Bend Mishawaka, and also from the Hotel Motel Tax Board for giving us a grant of $100,000 to make this possible. Given that Mishawaka is the most visited destination in the county, second only to the University of Notre Dame, these serve as a way for people to find their way around. And they also will designate our new Princess City Parkway that we have established throughout the downtown. And I think they look great. One of the blights we've had on our community has been around our cemetery, Fairview, St. Joe Cemetery, and City Cemetery. The old rusty barbed wire fence that used to be around. We also had the 5-point intersection at Jefferson and Liberty that was not safe. And so we've been working with, for a number of years to come up with a solution for this. Last year we were finally able to pull it off. We installed new fencing about 3/4 of a mile worth along those 3 cemeteries. And we also widened and had much more space for our precious sidewalks. And I think the streetscape looks beautiful through there and is now appropriate and respectful tribute to a great number of our citizens who have been laid to rest out at those sacred places. Some of the work that's most important to me and most meaningful for me is the city repair work of some of our historic WPA, Work Progress Administration, stonework in the city that was put here predominantly in the 1930s. Specifically, last year we addressed the Petro Park Shanauer Drive arches that I used to climb on as a child, and they were restored along with the 1937 bench over at the Battelle Park, as well as a retaining wall there. These are important artifacts of the city's history, and we will continue to make investments in restoring them. But it is expensive work, I can assure you, and requires skilled craftsmen, and so we can only do a little bit at a time. But I want to personally thank the Mishawaka Garden Club. Each and every year they drop off a check to help us make this work possible. The city utilities are increasingly becoming key to our strategic growth. I believe our utilities have a potential to give us a competitive advantage to attract new business well into the future. As cities struggle to keep up with federal and state unfunded mandates and burdensome regulation, it is putting pressure on us to balance our obligation to comply with federal mandates while also trying to keep our rates low for our ratepayers. We will vigorously defend our utilities against external forces. Fortunately, we sense that there is a brief opportunity to restore some common sense out of controlled federal and get some control with federal regulations. Mishawaka is poised and ready to take full advantage of this window to the benefit of our ratepayers. The electric division serves 26,000 customers. As energy costs continue to rise, Mishawaka customers enjoy affordable rates, remaining slightly below those of surrounding communities. In 2017, we hosted the 7th annual IMEA State Line Workers Rodeo here in beautiful Central Park. These events were attended by utilities from all over the state and around and neighboring states as well. But these events demonstrate to our residents the training and skill required to provide our customers with the world-class service that our electric division strives to provide. It was a family-friendly event that featured high bucket rides, food, rodeo souvenirs, activities, games, fireworks, and more. And the organizers said it was the best ever. Our Mishawaka Utilities Electric Apprenticeship Program linemen are recognized worldwide for being among the best, and our guys usually finish in the top 10 in national and global competitions. And again, we didn't disappoint, winning most of the competition last year. I'd say we had home field advantage, but we kind of expect them to win wherever they go. But anyway, they do a great job, and I'm proud of the work that our electric line workers provide for us each and every day. We have a great electric utility and staff, and we provide the most reliable power in the region, but we can't rest on our laurels. Our traditional 4 kV distribution circuits are becoming obsolete, essentially our grid. The industry is upgrading to higher voltage systems like 12 kV to meet higher demand from our customers. That means the 4 kV equipment that is being phased out, and it is harder and more expensive to get. Most of our 4 kV equipment has reached or exceeded its design life, and as a result, the city is looking to upgrade from 4 kV to 12 kV. This investment is unique in that it will provide us with some savings in return and reduced line losses. However, the most significant impact would be in system reliability. The cost of this upgrade is estimated to be about $70 million. Our goal for completion is 12 to 15 years, dependent upon funding. And we will begin the conversion process this year at the Union Street substation. In 2017, the Mishawaka Utilities Water Division completed final design for a 2 million gallon underground reservoir up at Maples on Ireland Trail. Construction will begin this year and should be complete within 2 years. Once complete, we will then begin rehabilitating the 89-year-old 3 million gallon reservoir, also at Maples. This will increase our system storage capacity and give our system much greater redundancy and reliability. Planning continued also last year on our new well field at Jude Creek. We ran a pilot test program for treatment and determined the best treatment process. The study was a success. We are now currently in design of the treatment plant building, and the plan is to break ground in 2021. The city of Mishawaka is one of 103 communities in Indiana with a combined sewer overflow system. During large storms, our system can become inundated, resulting in discharge of raw sewage into the St. Joe River. The Clean Water Act requires cities with combined sewer systems to develop long-term control plans to reduce or eliminate discharges of combined sewage into rivers. Mishawaka entered into a consent decree to do this back in 2014. Well, over the past 27 years, Mishawaka has reduced its combined sewer overflows into the river by 98.8% at a cost of $100 million. Eliminating the last 1.2% will cost at least $200 million. And the studies have shown that eliminating that remaining 1.2% will have zero measurable improvement on the water quality of the St. Joe River. The bottom line is that the cost to get that last 1.2% cannot be justified. If long-term control plan improvements aren't required as built, as we have signed the agreement, the average homeowner could see sewer bills alone exceeding $150 a month. This is entirely unacceptable to me, and I will move aggressively to protect our ratepayers and also the integrity of our utility. To that end, Mishawaka has begun discussions with the EPA, the state of Indiana, and the Department of Justice to renegotiate an affordable, justifiable endpoint that will protect our environment while also not financially burdening our citizens. This is my top priority as your mayor. My ultimate goal is to save our city and our ratepayers many millions of dollars. With that help of our trusted consultants and our scientists, we have developed a great strategy. Our aim is to greatly reduce our burden and liability. And no deep tunnel is my new motto. And we will not negatively impact the water quality of the St. Joe River in doing so. And we are reasonably optimistic that some good old common sense, Mishawaka, Princess City, common sense will prevail. As the old adage goes, if you're not growing, you're dying. So the city is not only actively investing in infrastructure, but also in our quality of life amenities. We are doing this because the top priority is to attract people. Now more than ever, people are choosing jobs and communities based on where they want to live. Quality of life amenities such as parks and schools matter now more than ever before. And as more and more people turn to cities to live, quality of life amenities are no longer an option. They are expected. Our strategy is working. Our community has been fundamentally transformed by investments in our Riverwalk and our park system. People are returning to our downtown and riverfront in a big way. And Mishawaka is uniquely suited to compete well and attract people to live here. Recent private investments in Mishawaka, specifically our downtown, is proving that our investments in our quality of life projects are bringing economic value. We will continue to double down on this strategy because we know that amenities infrastructure drives economic development, attracts people, improves neighborhoods, and increases property values. As part of our groundbreaking year, the students from Twin Branch School helped us cut the ribbon on a brand new playground at Twin Branch Park, featuring inclusive play for kids of all abilities, new walks, a parking lot, and lighting. This year we have plans to do phase 3, and I'm proud of our guys from Central Services Department for doing much of the build-out on the playground. They showed me their talent and dedication, saved the city money, and as a result, they'll get to do a lot more work just like it. 2017 saw the continued expansion of the Riverwalk through Merrifield Park, in addition to the creation of a new boat launch, pavilions, parking lot, and restrooms. The city worked with MACOG to secure federal funds for the project that ended up being about $3.5 million, and the work will be substantially complete this spring. The Scout Cabin, located in Merrifield Park, was built by the WPA. It opened in 1941 and was named after Mayor Castleman, that's Castle Manor. In 2017, the city of Mishawaka undertook a substantial renovation, including major structural improvements, in addition of a new metal roof, reestablishment of the front porch, and added a patio. Once complete this spring, we believe this lodge will be a great destination for hosting city events as well as a popular venue for rental. And as a side note, when the floodwaters inundated Merrifield Park, Castle Manor, which sits in the floodplain, was nearly significantly damaged just 2 weeks before it was set to be complete. Our Central Services crews, the Mishawaka Fire Department, and Horseman Construction all contributed to the effort to save this historic structure from significant damage. Sandbags were placed, and temporary pump was installed and manned round the clock for several days, which kept it bone dry, despite it looking as if it was floating on a lake, with surrounding water levels about a foot above it. Tell these guys to take the hill, and they will take the hill. One of the most important, inspiring things about living in the Princess City is seeing a tremendous pride that our citizens have about living here. One such citizen, former Plan Commission member and BZA member, Rosemary Clare, loved the city so much that upon her death, she left the city with a substantial amount of money, with the intent to make a park improvement. In working with Rosie's estate, we determined to build a small garden on the east end of Patel Park, overlooking the Cable State Bridge into downtown. The space includes 2 custom bench swings and will officially be dedicated as Rosemary's Garden this spring. The City of Mishawaka, in partnership with Penn Township and the Mishawaka Food Pantry, constructed a garden on a very small parcel adjacent to the Mishawaka Food Pantry in the spring of last year. The project included outside tables, bike rack, decorative fencing, a sculpture produced by a Mishawaka artist, landscaping, and 14 raised beds that are being used to provide vegetables for the food pantry. Last spring, we had our very first planting there. Since then, the food pantry has used it for fundraising events, but most importantly, many community partners have stepped up and helped with the gardening, which is providing healthy produce for our citizens that need it most. This is truly a special garden. As we add inventory to our parks and renovate great buildings just like this, we are looking to reinvent our Parks Department, and that is happening right now as we speak. Park Superintendent Phil Blasco and his staff have been given the enormous task of reinventing the department. Under Phil's leadership, the focus has been to improve ourselves through community engagement, partnerships, new programming, and they have stepped up to the challenge in a big way. And look forward to many new events at this facility and all of our park system. We're also looking at addressing other issues such as long-term maintenance of our parks and establishing funding sources for those. Now for the most anticipated part of my program. No, not the end. The coming attractions. Now some of you might say that the point of a State of the City speech is to tell lies and work like heck to make them come true. Well, I don't know about that, but every year I look forward to identifying the upcoming events for the future and near future. I can tell you that what we have planned in 2018 and beyond will not disappoint. This year, look forward to construction out on Douglas Road, from Fur out to about close to Capitol, of Phase 2 of the Douglas Road improvements. We'll go 5 lanes with concrete, street, curb, sidewalk, and utilities. Completion is set for 2019. In conjunction with the Douglas Road project, the city moved up the construction of Veterans Parkway that will proceed north off of Douglas up to Judah Creek. Veterans Parkway will be a new road and will extend services up through undeveloped property and give us access to our new well field that we are in the process of designing. As well as it will make a lot of new property available for development. We have also begun the long-awaited improvements to Mary Gibbard Park, and it should be open by midsummer. The park will feature an updated playground, including areas for inclusive play, open fields, and new sports. New walking paths, new splash pad, new bike park, new pavilion, and restrooms. We are reaching out and seeking partners like never before, and the same holds true for the design of our neighborhood parks. This park was designed for and by kids. We wanted to thank the students of LaSalle Elementary School for their help. On your way in, hopefully you noticed hanging on the wall all the master plan sheets completed by the kids. We incorporated many of their ideas into this park and unveiled it at a school assembly. They enthusiastically approved of our final plan, and we think that they're going to love their new park. As Central Park has become a popular destination with thousands of visitors each year, we have looked for ways to make an already popular park even better. And opportunity that has come up, we think fulfills a couple of needs in our park system. For one, over the next 2 summers, construction to adjacent to Beaver Park will significantly limit park access, making the stage unavailable for things like our summer concert series. Likewise, we don't have a large stage that is capable for hosting large concerts or even performing arts such as Shakespeare in the Park type events. Thus, we will begin construction this spring on a new permanent large stage. The stage will be set up to accommodate permanent lighting and sound equipment and will make an attractive regional destination for outdoor events. Central Park is the perfect place for such a stage. The large stage will be located on the loop walk around surrounding the event lawn on the west side of the park. The goal is to have this stage built in time for our summer concert series, and so we'll hold those there this year. We have already begun discussions with performing arts companies with the goal of having productions there this year too. Also at Central Park, we announced in January that we were seeking to build a new outdoor fitness court in Central Park. The NFC Fitness Court is a world-class outdoor gym designed to fit in the modern public space. The concept uses an outdoor fitness court and combines high-quality workouts with digital platforms such as apps to promote fit communities. We believe the Riverwalk is the perfect place for people to walk, run, and now work out for free. This program is the first of its kind in the state of Indiana, and it will be built with no taxpayer dollars, thanks to patronicity and the state of Indiana's Creating Places program that I learned about at the Conference of Mayors. This program matches local contributions dollar for dollar, so our $35,000 goal means that it will ultimately be $70,000 once matched. And I am pleased to report tonight that thanks to our generous public, the city has exceeded wildly its fundraising goal, and we will begin construction this spring. As part of the Mill at Ironworks project, the city reserved space at the northwest corner of Mill and Front Streets to place some public art. Well, we didn't just want a traditional sculpture, but something that would fit in with the urban and contemporary vision that we have established for the downtown. It is tasteful and mindful of our history. This is a completely new kind of digital art concept where LED screens will be used to display the Princess Mishawaka character. The scenes and images of the character are intended to change based on the time of day and the weather, and show the princess in a setting that would be reflective of Mishawaka pre-1833, when the city was founded. The idea is to have a dynamic, changing art piece that is modern, cool, and symbolic of the spaces being created downtown Mishawaka. Our inspiration was Ann Dancing in Indianapolis. This project will likely be installed in 2019, concurrent with completion of the Floridian College project. We think that it will become a destination spot on its own, with people wanting to come to see, to admire, take selfies, and interact with it. We also believe that there is a great regional opportunity that remains untapped. Having traveled the Midwest and beyond with a volleyball-playing daughter, I have seen the impact that an indoor athletic facility can have on a community to boost tourism and hotel stays. The City of Mishawaka is working with Visit South Bend Mishawaka and the Hotel Tax Board to explore the opportunity to bring such a facility to the north side of Mishawaka, adjacent to Jerry Creek Golf Course on property owned by the city, near hotels and restaurants with convenient access to major highways. We are optimistic we can partner to develop such a project and believe that it will succeed wildly while helping to feed the beast on the north side. In 2017, the city took the big step of expanding the city's Riverwalk system with the acquisition of 2 properties adjacent to Cedar Street. The city will extend the Riverwalk to Cedar Street on the north bank this year. We are now working to finalize preliminary designs that would allow offers to be made on partial properties needed to complete a section of the Riverwalk that would cross the Cedar Street Bridge and proceed along the south bank from Cedar back to Ray Street near the police department. We recently submitted an application for federal funding, and we hope to hear very soon for 2023 construction. I believe this will be a particularly beautiful stretch of the Riverwalk and provide spectacular views of the downtown. It will also complete the loop from Logan all the way to Cedar Street on both sides of the river. And in August 2017, the city submitted an application to the Regional Development Authority to fund the second Regional Cities project for the city of Mishawaka. This will essentially create a new urban downtown park. We were awarded $114,000 in funding with potential for much more to follow. The idea of the project was to leverage an amenity that would contribute to promoting new development and help retain and attract talent in our region. A second phase of the popular Beaver Park was always imagined and envisioned, but construction of the Mill at Ironworks Plaza is progressing now, and it is time to build that park on this property because of the Ironworks project that's also being built across the street. For the past 15 years in marketing our downtown, one of the concerns has always been routinely brought up is the lack of activities in the winter. This is viewed as a negative, not only for Mishawaka's downtown, but also for the region as a whole. We routinely hear that one thing we can't change is the weather. Well, one thing we can change is our collective attitudes towards the weather. It's time we embrace winter and actively market it with cool new amenities, and to do so, create a new destination that will result in bringing people to our downtown year-round. We believe that a year-round attraction will become one of the hallmark things to do in the region. One of the elements that separate this proposal from other parks is that we have envisioned a cafe, thanks to input from the Mayor's Youth Council a couple of years ago and a leadership project that they did. Although owned by the city, this would be leased to a private entity, likely at or below market value, in order to incentivize providing a unique eatery, coffee house, a dessert, evening drink destination, complete with Wi-Fi. A modern decor of glass, steel, and wood with stone accents is envisioned. The cafe will have its own outdoor seating area and will contain an outdoor fireplace, contributing to the winter ambiance of activities. There's also a second floor planned for flex space for indoor-outdoor areas that overlook the beautiful park and could also serve as space for rental. We have envisioned a skate path, not only to provide a unique winter activity, but also to complement the Signature Cafe, other restaurants, and the downtown in general. We believe that this amenity has the ability to attract people, even if they are not skating. We are looking at this as a Mishawaka scale version of Rockefeller Center. It will be a separate building that serves the skating needs and also adjacent to the Signature Cafe. And in the summer, the skate ribbon will become a sculpture walk. If constructed, this facility could replace the city's current Merfield Park ice rink that is at end of life and in need of complete replacement. We also envisioned a beer garden, shelter, outdoor picnic seating area, as well as permanent restrooms on site. A plaza set in the middle of the concept is meant for pedestrian-friendly open event areas. It could be used for a variety of activities, including festivals, outdoor performances, markets, even weddings. The park could also feature sculptures in a fountain and a mystery. And since the erection of the 2008 Mishawaka Cable Stayed Bridge has become one of the iconic images in Mishawaka. As part of the Ironworks Plaza project, we would like to create a modern light amenity on the bridge, a mini version of the Bay Bridge in San Francisco, to enhance the bridge's unique design and add to the nighttime ambiance of the downtown. Plans are to start construction on this Ironworks Plaza and complete it in 2019 in time for the skating season, with no bonding and debt. And perhaps the biggest news for 2018, what I had hoped to announce at last year's State of the City but couldn't because the deal wasn't done. We will create a new, affordable Mishawaka neighborhood almost instantly with the construction of 20 homes for Mishawaka residents in 1 week by hundreds of volunteers from all over the world. I am most proud that Mishawaka will be the location of the 36th and perhaps final Jimmy Carter Work Project. We are honored to have two of the world's most respected humanitarians, President and Mrs. Carter, along with hundreds of dedicated Habitat volunteers from around the world, who will come to Mishawaka for 1 week to build simple, decent, affordable homes that families will own through no-interest home mortgages they will receive at the local Habitat affiliate. Habitat for Humanity holds a special place in my heart. I wouldn't be here today without that organization. I have had the great fortune to meet and develop friendships with some extraordinary people while volunteering to build over 35 Habitat homes since 1995. I've also had the opportunity to get to know President Carter and his family while working with them all over the world. And we are proud to partner with Habitat of St. Joe County to bring a brand new neighborhood to Mishawaka, known as the Fields of Highland. The location is at the northeast corner of Burkett and Jefferson and has taken shape with infrastructure installed in 2017. The city contributed $300,000 towards installing that much-needed infrastructure. The homes will be a mix of 1 and 2 stories on traditional city lots with alley access and garages off the back. People that live there will own their homes, attend Mishawaka schools, be good citizens, participate in their community, raise families, and will contribute great things. How do we know? Because we have already seen many family miracles happen in Habitat houses all over Mishawaka. This is a tremendous opportunity to showcase Mishawaka on the world stage while showing the Carters and Habitat for Humanity International our community's can-do spirit. We intend to make this the most successful Carter Award project ever, and we are honored to have been given this unique opportunity. The Build Week will take place August 26th through 31st of this year, and volunteers can sign up now. A build will likely include thousands, with more than 500 people on site every day. Even country singers Garth Brooks and Trisha Yearwood will have confirmed that they will be joining us in Mishawaka for that week. Maybe we can see if they'll come and test out our new stage. Play for you a video about the project.
I went to New York City to make a speech, and while I was there, I was asked by Bill Fuller, the head of Habitat, to go by the work site. And when I got there, I saw a terrible 6-story building that was filled with debris, and a group of college students from New England were there trying to clear it up.
I remember the first 1 or 2 weekends when I came to work, we had no roof. And I had a little bit of apprehension about walking into the building altogether.
Eventually, we got 42 people that went up on a Trailways bus and had one of the most remarkable experiences of our life.
I'm not sure the world would have found out about Habitat if President and Mrs. Carter in 1984 hadn't gotten on that bus and taken a group of volunteers up to New York to do that first big rehab project.
I never dreamed at that point that it might become an annual affair. It became a very pleasant habit and commitment to Habitat that has just enriched our lives in many ways.
The Carter Work Project is led by the President and former First Lady, and they don't slack whatsoever. So when they say a work project, underline work.
Tomorrow morning we're really going to work. And it's very important that you realize that this has to be a hard working week.
We just work constantly from sun up to sundown for those 5 days. I've never seen so many people to come together, probably 2,000 plus people that came out every single day and put everything they had into helping us build our houses.
Okay, perfect.
Everything was just joyful. I mean, you had people high-fiving each other and, hugging each other.
Good morning, young man. Good morning, good morning.
And all of a sudden I realized they're not even getting paid for this. They're coming to work, they're volunteering their time, and so what do they get in return?
Living and dining area here. Kitchen is to your right.
We're all sharing a common belief in what Habitat is doing for people.
I really can't make speeches at Habitat because I get so choked up. And I look and see the homeowners, and then I see all the wonderful volunteers who are just working to do something good for somebody who needs help. So I thank you.
There's so much inner peace and joy that comes from knowing that you've actually made a difference.
Every time that I am at a Carter build, I feel like it changes my life every time. Because you just gotta see it for yourself, and all you gotta do is go one time and you're in. You're hooked.
Working with the homeowners again to help them better their lives, it's very rewarding. It's just a great feeling, and we feel it deep into our muscles.
It's wonderful. I can't tell you the experience. It's like you have to be here to know it. It's excellent.
Just like sugar falling out of the sky. It's going so beautiful.
At some point, you have to stop and just listen, and the hammering of these hundreds and hundreds of hammers. When you know what they're doing, is they're building love, man. It's the greatest feeling on the planet.
These Habitat projects have also been a deep emotional experience, not only for us and all the other thousands of volunteers who go with us, but especially to the families who've had their lives transformed.
Weglopen bijna kip die hele moeilijk kwijt.
They're going to move in and take a good long rest.
There's no way to describe the effect that having a house has on a family. It adds so much to their self-esteem.
In the 95, I was asked to speak to everybody, and as I'm talking, I couldn't help but remembering where we were coming from and where we were going, and I just started crying. I was done. I couldn't continue. And as I was walking down, President Carter comes up and he hugs me, and he said, "It's people like you that make us proud of what we do." Just think about a 15-year-old kid hearing a former president say something like that. I believe that empowered me and made me who I am.
So I think it's a human right for anybody to not have to struggle for the basic needs. And really, this apartment is such a privilege to be able to not have to make tons of money just so that you can have a roof over your head.
My kids and I, we have grown a lot closer. We've grown together in this house, and there's a lot of love in this house, and it was truly a great blessing for myself and my girls. A great blessing.
I've been working for affordable housing for the last 2 years now. And the reason I'm at my job is because of my experience with Habitat. Affordable housing is what gave me an opportunity, and this is where I'm supposed to be.
I can see why the family that was the President and First Lady of a nation found something even greater to spend the rest of their life doing. And we would like to personally volunteer to do that ourselves.
House number 6, color blue.
Many times, at the end of the week, when the house was finished, and we delivered a Bible and keys to their new house, and we haven't all cried. In fact, I think that's the times in my life when I have wept more than any other for excitement and for gratification that I was privileged, along with my wife, to participate in such a great project.
What are you two doing? Trying to make the rest of us look bad? Two of you out there for 30 years building houses with your bare hands? Last time I saw you, Mr. President, you were coming back from Africa, literally pulling guinea worms out of people's feet, eradicating the disease. Meanwhile, I spent the past 6 months looking around for my crazy bread. I ordered crazy bread! We're real proud of you two. You set a wonderful example for the rest of us. We'd like you to stop it.
2018 Mishawaka. The girl that President Carter gave the keys to, the 10-year-old girl named Sunshine, I happened to be there and witnessed that day. I also witnessed what she lived in before her family moved into that simple house that would look like a garage to you and me. I've seen the impact that this great program and these two great people have made. And I also know what a simple, decent, affordable home can mean to a family. It provides a sense of stability like nothing else can. I also know what it is like to work with hundreds of volunteers on a common mission to build a neighborhood in 1 week. There is nothing like it. We call it habititis, and I'd like you to experience it as well. So I would like to issue a challenge tonight. I would like for the city of Mishawaka to step up and sponsor a home on which all of our city departments, council, commissions, boards, interested citizens, our youth council can step up to build a home for a deserving Mishawaka family. I think that it would be a great opportunity to get to know some really fine people, to learn some useful skills, to make a permanent impact on a great family and this great city. And I couldn't think of a better team building experience for all of us, and I'm confident that you'll find it a life-changing experience. Are you with me on that?
Yeah.
We will make it happen on that resounding approval. As you can see, Mishawaka has a lot going on. My summary highlights only some of what's happening. I would encourage everyone here to read the full reports provided by each city's department for a much more complete perspective. The State of the City report will be available online tomorrow at mishawaka.in.gov, first thing in the morning. Although I get the honor and the privilege to stand here and share with you the collective projects, the people, and the stories that make Mishawaka the best hometown in America, it's the great people and public servants that I get to work with each and every day that make this city thrive. It not only shows in the great service that they provide, but also in the manner of which they provide them. This is the level of government, and these are the services that are closest to the Mishawaka people. And that is what makes service here so rewarding. No matter what happens at the national level, the state level, or even the regional level, our citizens can rest assured that Mishawaka will remain stable, a high ground during times of flood. That is because of the cooperation, teamwork, and professionalism of all who serve the Princess City. It can be found in the electric department when during the recent flood, a transformer box succumbed to flood waters, started sparking and shorted out, had to be shut off, cutting power to several residents with it. A second transformer box was about to be inundated with water and would have knocked power out to an entire neighborhood. Kevin McGann developed a plan to keep the transformer dry with sandbags and pumps. Meanwhile, Denny Sterritt and Shane Bollinger, not content to let residents wait several days till floodwaters receded before restoring power to the first few homes, developed a plan that included purchasing waders, going out into floodwaters, creating a makeshift dam, and installing a permanent sump pump, remove the water and restore power immediately. Residents Richard and Chris Curry were so thankful and impressed by their actions of our staff that they wrote to the South Bend Tribune and sent me a letter stating that they couldn't be more grateful to Mishawaka Utilities for their out-of-the-box thinking and dedication to our city service, or city residents. It's also found in Mishawaka firefighters who responded to a 911 call for an elderly man that had collapsed and stopped breathing while mowing his lawn. When firefighters arrived on scene, a Mishawaka police officer had already started giving chest compressions to a male in full arrest. EMTs took over and were able to get a pulse back. The victim was stabilized and transported to the hospital, but the call didn't end there. The crew of Engine 2, Captain Portalease and firefighters McIntyre, Engelmeyer, and Dan Ryan, went back to the victim's home to finish cutting the grass and do the yard work without hesitation. The victim's family was so impressed by the selfless good deed that they contacted me to let me know that they were so grateful and asked if I could recognize them. That's the kind of service I'm proud of. That's the kind of service we strive to provide each and every day. Service with dedication and love. World-class service delivered by ordinary, everyday heroes. Why? Because we are first and foremost citizens of this great city. And that's the kind of city we all want to live in. Service like this is exactly why Mishawaka will lead the region as the best place to live, work, and raise a family. Once again, I want to thank all of Mishawaka for providing me with this special opportunity to serve. I consider it the most important work of my life, and I never take it for granted. Colleagues and friends, what a unique moment we have right here in the history of Mishawaka. Our fundamentals are strong, we are experiencing record growth, and we have only just begun. Mishawaka is poised for a greater future, a coiled spring ready to unleash with great energy. I don't know about you, but there's no place I'd rather be, and there's no one I'd rather share this journey with than all of you. May the princess always look over your shoulder, and may God continue to bless you, our citizens, and our beloved city of Mishawaka. Thank you.